In our last lecture segment, we finished the fourth of the 6 acquisition controversies, deceptive marketing. We are now picking up with the 5th, exploitative marketing. Exploitative marketing is marketing that intentionally targets the vulnerable with the intention of taking advantages of their vulnerabilities. We are all vulnerable at times, but overall, some consumer segments are more vulnerable than others. Do you recall the first time you clicked on a link in an email and later discovered your computer was infected with a virus? Or perhaps it happened to someone else and you learned that lesson vicariously. Do you recall the first time that you responded to an emotional appeal in a chain letter email and later found your mailbox clogged with spam ads? Do you recall the first time you bought a product and then found that it did not live up to the advertising claims? Chances are it has happened to you so often you cannot recall the first time. All of these exposures have collectively increased your awareness of false claims and thus your ability to critically evaluate them. The more exposure consumers have to modern marketing practices, the more critical they tend to become and the more cautious with their evaluations and trust. Thus, consumers with less exposure to modern marketing practices tend to be more vulnerable to questionable marketing practices. Kids have less experience than adults, for instance. Not all, but some seniors, for example, have had less experience with computers and modern marketing practices in general, and thus are more likely to believe false claims. Likewise, consumers of all ages in developing nations tend to have less exposure to modern marketing practices. Additionally, consumers with cognitive deficiencies are less able to critically evaluate claims. Some examples are individuals with brain damage, lower IQ, and age-related dementias. Some exploitative marketing targets seniors, for instance. Certainly not all seniors suffer from dementia. In fact, most do not. But imagine those who do. Couple this with a lack of exposure to modern marketing, and very high vulnerability can result. Next, lower stages of cognitive development create vulnerabilities. Children, of course, are not cognitively deficient by definition. Instead, their cognitive development is not yet complete. Cognitive development occurs in natural, sequential stages. We're going to begin the next segment by exploring these stages of cognitive development.